Have you ever wondered why you make such poor decisions at times? We all do. Have you ever noticed how academically gifted people can still be unsuccessful in life? Did you know that there are 4 fundamental human intelligences? And we're all naturally high in a couple, naturally low in a couple. So the reality is everyone you meet is more intelligent than you in some ways, and in some ways you're more intelligent than them. But if we buy into the myth of IQ that there's just one intelligence, now we have stupid and clever people, and so many people are damned on that illusion. When I took over my first unit in the Army, in 5 Airborne Brigade, I had 2 master's degrees. Most of my soldiers had been kicked out at school at 16 as stupid. And so I thought I'm obviously more intelligent than them. And I didn't realize how arrogant and wrong that was. I remember being in Central America working on a project where I was designing store sheds and building them. And I had my soldiers working away. It was hot, the ground was hard, and they worked extremely well. But because it was a cyclone area, we had to get the foundations to a certain depth. And they'd come to me and say, "Sir, is this far enough?" I go, "No, look at the regs, it's got to be deeper." And I kept working away until one of the senior NCOs came up to me and said, "Sir, why do we have to go all the way down? What does it matter if there's a very violent cyclone and the store shed gets knocked down? And this is stopping us working on other priorities." Now, I could have said to him, "Oh, well, but maybe some of the equipment would fly around and hurt people," but I hadn't even thought about the why. I was just focused on the how, and he was showing much more intelligence in that moment. I didn't know then how schools could get it so wrong, how they could label people as stupid when they clearly weren't, but I know now. It's because there are these 4 intelligences, and we all are low in a couple. So when we're dealing with an area where an intelligence applies, and we're low in, we all can be pretty stupid. As Viktor Serebryakov said, who was the president of Mensa at the time, being intelligent is no defense against being stupid. So the question, of course, is what are these 4 intelligences that we're given by God or evolution, whichever gives it to us? The first one is IQ, which I'm sure you've heard of. It's called the intelligence quotient. It's really the intellectual quotient. It's about your ability to logically solve problems. It's actually been increasing at 30 points a century, a very high rate. And that means if you scored 100, which is average now, and took the test 100 years ago, you'd score 130, you'd be labeled as gifted. In fact, every year at university increases your IQ by 3% on average. So it's not static. And I've been teaching people for many years how to actively increase it. It's ideal in the area of management and scientific work. Then there's emotional intelligence, which again, many of you will have heard of. It's about our ability to handle our relationships with others. It clearly can be improved, it's well accepted, and it's very important in the area of leadership and also of art. And it's oppositely correlated with IQ. So the higher your IQ is, the lower your EQ tends to be naturally, and vice versa. You can see that with the great artist, Andy Warhol. His IQ was only 86. It's very low. But that's a sign of just how high his EQ was. So the question for you, which is your higher one, IQ or EQ? Just reflect for a moment. Much less well known are the next 2. There's PQ, which is really our practical intelligence. It's our ability to adjust to the reality around us. It's very important in the areas of technical work, and it's about the concrete, the tangible in our life. And last but not least is SQ, or strategic intelligence. It's about our ability to find creative solutions to complex challenges. It's very much where intuition kicks in. And it's very important for entrepreneurs, for very senior levels of management. As Einstein said, imagination and creativity is much more important than knowledge. That's a sign just how important this intelligence is. And it is the area of miracles. Again, one of these 2, PQ or SQ, is your higher one. Which is it for you? So to sum up, IQ is about our ability to analyze. EQ is about our ability to sympathize. PQ is about our ability to scrutinize, and SQ about our ability to strategize. And much of my work is helping people increase all 4 so that they don't have the 2 lower ones which derail us in life and basically make us stupid at times.